I would like to welcome everyone this evening to the January 27th, 2022 monthly meeting of the Henrico County School Board. At this time, I would like to note Mrs. Shea's physical absence from today's monthly meeting. In light of Mrs. Shea's physical absence, she has requested I preside over today's meeting. Mrs. Shea previously notified the board of her request to participate electronically from a remote location due to a medical condition. Our school board policy P2-04-006, electronic participation in meetings from remote locations, requires a majority vote of the board members present at the primary or central meeting location to allow a board member to participate in a meeting from a remote location. In accordance with the school board policy, school board members, do I hear a motion?
I move that the school board approve Mrs. Shea's participation in today's monthly meeting electronically.
Thank you, Ms. Ogburn. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper. Now I need a roll call vote. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Mrs. Ogburn.
Aye.
Mrs. Atkins.
Aye.
Mrs. Shea. Oh, sorry. And I vote aye. Mrs. Shea's request has been approved. Next, this meeting is being live streamed on the HCPS website. We'll begin our meeting with a roll call. When I call your name, please verbally indicate your presence. Reverend Cooper.
Present.
Mrs. Ogburn.
I'm here.
Mrs. Atkins.
Present.
Mrs. Shea.
Here.
And I'm here too. Please let the record reflect that a quorum of the board is physically present and Mrs. Shea is participating electronically. I ask Mrs. Shea to verbally note if she needs to leave the meeting and subsequently verbally note when she returns. And now to the next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. May I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I move that the school board approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Atkins. Now for a roll call vote. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Ms. Ogburn.
Aye.
Mrs. Atkins.
Aye.
Mrs. Shea.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it. The agenda is approved. Madam Superintendent.
Thank you, Chair Shea, Vice Chair Kinsella, members of the board, and to our guests this evening. We will begin our meeting, as we always do, with the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be followed by a moment of silence. And we are joined for the Pledge of Allegiance this evening by students from Johnson Elementary School. And so I'm going to invite their principal, Katie Taylor, up to the podium to introduce the students who will be leading us in the pledge. After the pledge, we'll have our moment of silence. So you can please come on up. And if you would please stand, and our flag is right here, and she'll introduce the students.
Good evening. I'm Katie Taylor. I'm the proud principal of Johnson Elementary. We are joined today by three of our fabulous fifth grade students. We have Nia Jones, Sean Young, and Jessica Tran. We're also joined this evening by our associate principal, Ms. Nicole Freund, and three of our fabulous fifth grade teachers, Ms. Brianna Perkins, Ms. Liz White, and Ms. Joanne Collier. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much to our students for leading us in the pledge. At this time, we are going to have a moment of silence, which may be used by those in attendance for prayer, personal reflection, or meditation. Please pause. That concludes our moment of silence. You may be seated. For the next item, we're excited to have our musical performance highlight from students from Baker Elementary will be joining us, and the board and I are going to take seats in the audience so we can enjoy the performance, and we'll return prior to that.
Chair, members of the board, Dr. Cashwell, colleagues and guests. My name is Christopher Mosley. I am the education specialist for performing arts. It is my pleasure to introduce for our performance highlight this evening, the Baker Elementary Select Ensemble under the direction of Ms. Shannon Atkins. Ms. Atkins is in her 20th year teaching and her 4th year as the music teacher at Baker Elementary. The students will perform 2 selections, We Need Peace and January Jumpin'. Tonight we have in attendance their proud principal, Ms. Lauren Bischoff, and associate principal, Ms. Ashley Pride. We ask that you stand to be recognized at this time. All right, now please help me welcome to the stage our wonderful students from Baker Elementary School under the direction of Ms. Shannon Atkins.
Thank you again to Baker Elementary for that wonderful performance. And I don't know if you know what happened the last time we had a group of students in here singing about snow. So I did hear the word snow in that last song. So we shall see given the current forecast. Anyway, we appreciate the performance from Baker Elementary. And next, we're so pleased to have some recognitions for our state champions. And so I believe John Carroll's going to lead those for us. And we are going to have board members come up as is appropriate for each team to take some photographs with our champions. So without further ado, we are so proud and thrilled to be able to recognize our student athletes.
Thank you, Dr. Cashwell. Madam Chair, members of the school board, Dr. Cashwell, colleagues, and guests. Tonight, we recognize our Fall Virginia High School League state championship teams. At this time, I would like to invite Principal Brian Fellows, Director of Student Activities Michael Kidd, coaches Drew Spicer and Daniel Novak, and captains of the Deep Run Girls Cross Country team, Julia Fabiato, Janie Sanborn, and Sydney Walters to come forward. The Deep Run Girls Cross Country team had a tremendous season. They won the Region 5C championship and the Class 5 state championship. Numerous runners received all region, all metro, and all state honors. Congratulations to Deep Run Girls Cross Country on your amazing season. Next, we would like to invite Principal Reggie Davenport, Director of Student Activities Mike John Cristofaro, Coach Kevin Hoy, and boys volleyball captains Trevor Foy and Brooks Cowart to come forward. After finishing as the state runner-up the past 3 seasons, the Glen Allen High School boys volleyball team completed a dominant season, finishing 23-0. They won the Region 5C title, their 3rd in 4 years, and the Class 5-6 boys state volleyball championship. Numerous players received all region, all metro, and all state honors. Brooks Cowart was both the regional and state player of the year, and Coach Kevin Hoy also received regional and state coach of the year honors. Congratulations on such a tremendous season. Next, we invite coaches Jen Stroney, Randy Thomas, Nikki Rhodes, and captains Ben Hagerich and Jason Latina of the boys cross country team to come forward. The Glen Allen boys cross country team was undefeated at invitationals during the regular season. They won the Region 5C championship and the Class 5 state championship. This was the first state title won by the cross country team in school history. Numerous runners were named all region and all state, and Coach Jen Stroney was recognized as State Coach of the Year. Congratulations on these outstanding accomplishments. For our final recognition of the evening, we invite Principal Darren Thompson, Director of Student Activities Kevin Adams, Head Coach Marcus Lewis, Assistant Coaches Leonard Mitchell and Jonathan Lewis, and Team Captains of the Verona football team, DeAndre Comp, Kavion Keys, Carlo Thompson, Wayne Watson, and Kamari Wells to come forward. Verona football finished the season 13-1. They won the Region 4B championship and the Class 4 state championship. The victory was the first football state championship in school history. Numerous players were named to the All-Region, All-Metro, and All-State teams. Anthony Fisher was the Regional and State Offensive Player of the Year, and Coach Marcus Lewis also received the Region 4B and State Class 4 Coach of the Year award. Congratulations to Verona football on this historic season.
Congratulations again to all of our athletes. So very proud, and I know your schools are as well. The next item we have is our Henrico highlight. As we're returning, so members of the board, I am so pleased to highlight the collaboration between the students in our Center for Communications and Media Relations at Verona High School and staff from our own Henrico County TV services. In addition to providing real-world communications experiences for students, this project celebrates our local history, or should I say, herstory. Let's take a look.
If you grew up in the Richmond area, I'm sure you've heard the name Maggie Walker. But
I had first heard rumblings about TV services wanting to produce a series loosely entitled Her Story, all about female famous historical figures. And I was pretty excited about it because I think a lot of times our students are not fully educated on a lot of the contributions that women make throughout history. So I was pretty excited about my students given the opportunity for some real-world experience and for some projects that have a chance of a wider audience.
What would you say for that part?
The kids had a paper copy of the script, and John Gill was asking them what would work instead of this line here. What would you say if somebody were telling you the story of Maggie Walker? What would be the words that someone of your generation would say?
I read the script, I was like, that's not in my basic everyday vocabulary. So maybe just, we were trying to change up the script, definitely a couple words, but actually the script was pretty good.
Well, it was nice for us to kind of go through the script and do it, and we did it all as a class and stuff, and we got to discuss it. It was different, but a good different.
Okay, you would not say transport supplies to battlefields. Okay, what would you say?
It showed that I can work something until it's the way I want it to be, and I can tweak it the way I want to tweak it and involve other people as much as I want to.
There were so many ways to write it, and so I'm like, oh, all these people are coming out with different ideas. I'm thinking of different things as well, and like, you know, all together, it just makes it better.
So there's not a better phrase, you guys? Okay, I couldn't think of one.
Think you know a lot about Pocahontas?
We decided to have every single student audition for the on-air talent portion.
You think you know a lot
About Pocahontas?
Pocahontas?
Pocahontas. Well, if all you know is the Disney story.
The Disney stories.
Then it's time to get some.
It's time to get.
Then it's time to get some facts straight.
It was fun, but very nerve-wracking because I had never done anything like that before. But I think it was a really good opportunity.
All right, let me just get close up. Let's do it again. Perfect.
I think I was the most nervous I have ever been. Like, I was just put on the spot. I was pretty sick. Like, I was congested. I was extremely nervous. I did not remember the script. That was not my best performance at all.
I was like, how should I sound? Should I be more energetic with what I'm talking about? Did I do it right? And we have to keep on redoing it because I'll laugh actually in the middle of it. I forgot the rest.
If all you know is the Disney story, then I have terrible memory.
Think you know a lot about Pocahontas? Oh my gosh.
That's okay, it's okay.
I messed up more.
All right, so what I want you to do.
It was just our opportunity to give every kid an equal chance, giving them that chance to read a script raw, to stand in front of the camera, to be mic'd up, to have just that opportunity. And again, for every student to have that opportunity to read and to try something new.
Like when I was reading it, I couldn't picture how the video would look, but when I saw it, I was like, that's it. Think you know a lot about Pocahontas? Well, if all you know is the Disney story, then let me enlighten you. First of all, her name wasn't Pocahontas. Her real name was Amon Ote. Although in private circles, she was called Matoaka. Pocahontas was more of a nickname. It means playful one.
I think it's important for our kids to learn about everyone in history because we need to make sure that everybody feels represented.
We need to actively seek out individuals whose contributions matter to students today and whose experience our students can empathize with.
You know, everybody has a piece of history. Everybody's involved. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or if you're black or white or Hispanic. Like, everyone has a place and a role in history.
And that's because of Clara Barton. Clarissa Barton, better known as Clara, grew up in Massachusetts. When she was about 10 years old, her brother became very sick. So young Clara had the job of taking care of him. Believe it or not, that meant using leeches. Nasty.
I love the final product. I love how the students are interactive in that. I love how there's the use of B-roll, but also the still photos that are there. I love that the students have that voice and that piece even.
The students being able to add their input made it much more natural for them on screen. They weren't just reciting words that someone else had written for them. They had an opportunity to work with the script, which made it much more fluid.
After graduating school in 1893, she became a teacher. 3 years later, she got married but was forced to quit because the school policy didn't allow married women to teach. Ridiculous. On the upside, she got more.
Like, you don't want to watch something that's boring. It's not fun. It has like fun aspects to it, and you just want to keep on watching, even though you're learning something that may not seem interesting. With the sound effects, and it just gets the viewer attention.
I think it was nice to see some of my classmates that don't really have the opportunity to do certain things. So like Rio, I didn't know he was that good and like in front of the camera like that. So when I saw him in the video, I was like, okay, Rio, that was good, man.
To this day, a female star reporter is sometimes referred to as a Nellie Bly. Why is it female? Why doesn't Nellie Bly just mean star reporter? Nellie Bly, our history is her story.
I hope you all enjoyed that highlight. I think it was really neat to see a collaboration between our TV services staff and students from Varina High School. I know for the board, many of us get to see our TV services staff right here as they're helping with the video production. So a few folks who were involved in this project right upstairs. So thank you again for that great collaboration. And that concludes the highlight. And I will turn it back over to Vice Chair Kinsella.
Thank you, Dr. Cashwell. The next item on our agenda this evening is the reading of our mission statement. Reverend Cooper, will you do the honors?
Yes, ma'am, Madam Vice Chair. Henrico County Public Schools mission statement. Henrico County Public Schools, an innovative leader in educational excellence, will actively engage our students in diverse educational, social, and civic learning experiences that inspire and empower them to become contributing citizens.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper. And now the next item on our agenda is the public forum. This is the time where citizens are invited to address the school board on any matter of concern about the school division. Citizens have signed up in advance. Speakers will be given 2 minutes to address the board. We will follow the sign-up list, and the board will not hear from speakers who have not signed up in advance. Those who have signed up to speak may not relinquish their spot to someone else. We ask that each speaker come to the microphone, clearly state your name and neighborhood or school affiliation and the subject of your remarks. Any use of profanity or inappropriate language will be ruled out of order. After stating your name, please place the number you were given in the cart near the podium. All speakers are allotted 2 minutes to address the school board. To assist you in tracking your time, there is a timekeeping system displaying the lapsed time on the screen. Speakers will also receive a notice from the chairperson when their time has expired. The school board is here today to hear from you, the community. Speakers should speak directly to the board. Please know we will not be responding to speakers, but we do appreciate your attendance here this evening and for providing your input to the board. The first speaker is number 5. Oh, I'm sorry. The first speaker is number 1. Could number 1 step to the microphone? Okay. Speaker number 2. Is speaker number 2 in the audience?
We were not given numbers when we signed up.
Did you sign up when you arrived, or did you sign up online as the agenda notice stated?
Signed up online at 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Was not given a number.
Okay, hold on. One of our clerks will resolve this. We'll resolve this.
They must have just missed the sign-in. Okay, yep, thank you. You got it. Left my phone's here anyway, I'll get them. Thanks for your patience while we made sure everyone who was signed up to speak got signed in. I think some missed the sign-in table.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Thank you for your patience. Now we'll resume public forum. Speaker number 1, would you please approach the podium? All right, last call for speaker number 1. Speaker number 2. Speaker number 2. Speaker number 3. Speaker number 4. Speaker number 5.
Wasn't expecting to go first. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Okay. Hi, my name is Allie Williams. I have a 7th grader at Hungary Creek Middle School and a 4th grader at Glen Allen Elementary. And I want to talk a little bit about the fact that the children are paying the price for the teacher shortage. And I want to ask that you consider giving some flexibility and collaboration and grace in how we're measuring our students. My daughter has been in a class, middle school, 7th grade. It's a high school algebra class. For the last 3 weeks, she hasn't had a teacher. She took a quiz and a test in back-to-back classes. And I know this isn't the only class where we don't have teachers in those classrooms. I know you all have children. Everyone in this room does. We have an entire class at Glen Allen High School for geometry that hasn't had a teacher all year. So it's clearly happening across the board. We need to pay them more. We need to recruit them. We know that COVID is impacting the situation, the Great Resignation. There are so many factors, and we're not going to change it all in one night, one day, 1 year. But I would ask that if we have no qualified teacher in a classroom, how can we expect the students to teach themselves and still test them to the test that we've so rigidly trained those teachers to give for the last decade? And then when they fail, we have no options. We quietly introduced a district retake policy, I believe. I was only made aware of it after months of going to the school and asking how could they help my daughter. And I guess it has to be student initiated, and the highest grade they can get is a 65. And that's really demoralizing, and unfortunately it's not helpful because either the student's embarrassed or they don't care. So parents get involved. So I'm asking that, while I'm not a fan of lowering the bar, it's a dire moment. And we're gonna have long-term consequences for these kids if we don't consider that there are other ways to gauge a student's understanding of content. So I would ask that you take an immediate step to figure out how we can be more collaborative in grading these students so there's not a long-term consequence of failure. Thank you.
Speaker number 6. Speaker number 6.
Good evening. My name is Matt Williams, and I have 3 elementary school children in Henrico County. Due to limited time, I will get right to a few points on masks. Number 1, we have reached a point in the pandemic where, thank goodness, Omicron is much less dangerous than previous variants. It is also providing extensive natural immunity. Number 2, the VDH and CDC recently came out and stated that cloth masks are ineffective at stopping the spread of Omicron when compared to other masks. Let me repeat, cloth masks are ineffective at stopping the virus. Number 3, one size doesn't fit all. As a parent and a member of the community, I understand and am sympathetic to the fact that many families face different circumstances. Consequently, if some parents want to send their children to school with masks, that should be their right. Number 4, families have had ample time to get their children vaccinated should they choose to do so. Number 5, ill effects of masks. We know that multiple studies indicate that masks hinder learning, particularly in our youngest children. Last year, members from this board wrote to me via email referencing Governor Northam's mask mandate, saying, and I quote, "Mr. Williams, we are legally required to follow Executive Order 72. Now that our new governor has clearly written Executive Order 2 to give parents the choice in whether to mask their children, the board now chooses to cite another law, SB 1303, written in March of 2021, as potentially conflicting with Youngkin's executive order. That's interesting because SB 1303 was written to give students the right to in-person instruction while at the same time using the current applicable mitigation strategies. Nowhere in that law was the word mask used. Again, this law was written almost a year ago. The times have changed, and a year later, we now know, again, cloth masks don't work. Almost finished. Guys, it's time to focus on how we begin to move forward together as
Your
a
time has
community.
elapsed.
Let's stop punishing our children.
Thank you so much for your comments. Is there a speaker number 7?
Hello, my name is Jordan Scott, and I'm a senior at J.R. Tucker High School in the Advanced College Academy program. However, I reside in the Varina district. Today, I would like to discuss the topic of whether parents should be able to decide if they want their children to wear masks in school. Wearing masks, in my opinion, should not be up for debate. Parents deserve to have a place in education. However, I urge you to understand that allowing masks to be optional based on parental opinion does not only affect that child, it affects everyone around that child. When you go on the Henrico County Public Schools website, it states that students have, quote, the right to achieve, the support to succeed. The school division also embraces 4 critical cornerstones: student safety and wellness, academic growth, equity, and opportunity and relationships, end quote. By giving someone the choice to stop wearing a mask, you are taking away the choices of their peers around them. Making masks optional does not promote the safety of the students, staff, or community. In fact, it only facilitates the spread of COVID and endangers the entirety of the community. I appreciate this board's effort to continue to enforce the CDC mask guidelines within Henrico County. I acknowledge that Governor Youngkin has implemented an executive order, and the refusal to abide by the requirements within that order might result in consequences. However, it is the duty of this board, as well as the superintendent of Henrico County, to ensure the safety of its constituents despite the potential repercussions. As I mentioned earlier, parents absolutely deserve the right to be included in aspects of their children's education. However, masks should not be put up for question because the choice of one student can negatively affect everyone else within their school and community. Thank you for your time.
Speaker number 8. Is there a number 8? Speaker number 9.
Can you hear me? Hi. My name is Elena Espy. I am a parent of one of the political prisoners at Deep Run High School right now. I've had children in HCPS for almost 25 years. My kids have been in school with children with terminal illnesses, suppressed immune systems, life-threatening food allergies. We've survived the swine flu and every other flu. In 25 years, we've never had to mask to protect other students. We've never had to disclose vaccination statuses or segregate unvaccinated students in order to protect vulnerable classmates. My son has lived 17 years with chronic ear infections and recurring hearing loss. He's had multiple corrective surgeries. Since the start of this school year, he's been unjustly quarantined despite being fully vaccinated or fully immune to COVID, and sent home with not only no instruction whatsoever, but no assignments, oversight, or direction. Upon returning to school, he suffered months of chronic ear and respiratory infections and was in and out of school because he couldn't breathe and couldn't get healthy. But more importantly, he's at risk for possible permanent hearing loss. In the most recent chapter of the saga, the open wounds on his lips are not actually cold sores, but fungal infections. This week, he can finally breathe, but the price he pays is again missing school, again being denied instruction, and again being forced behind. Couple this with the fact that most teachers aren't even grading work for weeks or months, so kids have no idea where they stand academically, and your justification for masks is to have us have sympathy on the teachers. People have elected a governor who would free us from this unjustified discrimination and tyranny. He's outlawed mask mandates, and yet HCPS continues to go rogue and make up rules that segregate, threaten, isolate, and humiliate our children. HCPS and the administration are nothing more than paid bullies. The discrimination he's been subject to this year is unparalleled. Athletic testing for outdoor tracks, so they conveniently call indoor track just so you can collect funding for implementing practices. Discriminatory expulsion of students because they won't accept a therapeutic shot that does nothing to protect anyone else but might prevent them from having healthy children one day or cause adolescent heart failure. Bullying and badgering kids to wear masks and manipulating them to try to convince them.
Thank you, speaker number 9. Your time has elapsed. Thank you. Speaker number 10.
Sarah Edens, Tuckahoe District. I'm here to talk about masks. You continue to argue that SB 1303 requires you to keep the mandate in place. Here's why I think your explanation is both wrong and hypocritical. On July 1st, SB 1303 became law in Virginia with no language whatsoever regarding mandatory masking. On July 25th, Virginia's public health order expired, thus expiring the previous mask mandate from Governor Northam. July 26th, the Health Committee met to discuss how to proceed. On July 27th, you communicated with HCPS parents that masks would be optional for the fall. You stated, while we encourage mask wearing for those not fully vaccinated, we respect that mask wearing is currently an individual's choice. On August 2nd, the Health Committee met and updates were given regarding COVID CDC guidance and governor's orders. And in those meeting notes right here, it was noted that some parents have expressed that HCPS should be following CDC guidance. When it comes to the wearing of masks, HCPS is following this guidance and strongly recommending that masks be worn by everyone. Then on the morning of August 12th, all 5 of you voted to mandate them. We know hours later, the health commissioner issued his mandate. So the law that we keep talking about was on the books July 1st. Why did it take you 2 weeks to become concerned with following it? And if you're so concerned with following the law, then you should be very alarmed what's taken place in the schools this week. Some of the kids probably in this room were in the auditorium during their school day. They didn't have a right to their in-person instruction that they were by law required to receive. So since this EO number 2 has been signed, you guys are making excuses for why you're not going to allow choice in masks. We're not idiots. Please, I just urge you, stop the nonsense, lift the mandate, and let parents make the choice for themselves.
Speaker number 11.
Hold that. To them. My name is Shannon Dillon. I have 2 children at Deep Run High School. One is a senior and one is a sophomore. One plays varsity baseball. He will be graduating in 2 years and he will not wear a mask. My daughter is a senior, will be graduating in June. And I can assure you, she will only wear a mask when she has to take her tests because of you and because of, quote, Dr. Fellows, she's not allowed to not participate, or she could be suspended. She's not the only one. As the other parents have indicated, there are 9 students here from Deep Run. They've sat in the auditorium. They have been denied their education, denied. 1303 guarantees them in-person education. If you don't know what it says, I have a copy for it for you to read. You are an elected board. Do your job. I have ranted on Facebook. I have been ridiculed and criticized and called racist, bigot, whatever. You know what I am? I'm a concerned parent, as all of these people are, what side you stand on. But I can tell you this, that is the most disgusting crap I have ever seen. And you want my kid to wear that day in and day out? Are you insane? I'm not a doctor. I am a lawyer. And I can assure you this, I know that teachers at Deep Run are manhandling our students. They're pushing up their masks, they're dragging them down the hallways by their book bags, and I can assure you this, come May 31st, I will be filing criminal charges against them. It's called assault and battery, folks. If I can't lay a hand on you, you can't lay a hand on my kid.
Speaker number 12. Speaker number 12.
You don't actually need to wipe it because the germs won't jump off and get me. Governor Youngkin made his executive order. He gave us a week to look into how it could work and prepare, and the next day you sent an email to parents. You didn't even think about it or talk with schools or parents. That's just embarrassing. Other school districts around us have had it on their agendas, and it isn't even on ours. What are we teaching our kids about democracy? That we listen to one governor but not another? I put money down that if Governor Northam was reelected and changed and said that it was parents' choice to mask or not mask, then you would have all agreed with it. The CDC, it's not a governing organization. It uses the word recommends, but you guys think that that means required. Well, then fundamental is the same as constitutional. It's in the Virginia Code that a parent has a fundamental right to make decisions concerning the upbringing, education, and care of the parent's child. So I don't know what more you need. I did the math yesterday, and 1% of HCPS students and teachers were tested positive last week. 1%. That does not mean that they all are in the hospital or that they're all even showing symptoms. Well, 20% of our kids are bullied each year. After 2 years, we all know the risks, so let us make up our own minds if we want to go out or not. 2 weeks ago, a friend of mine who is fully vaccinated and boosted got COVID from another vaccinated person. After that person quarantined, they then went out to dinner at a busy restaurant with 6 other friends who have been who knows where. And I guarantee you a lot of vaccinated people are doing that. And that's fine, that's great, I agree, they should. But then don't mask my kid. To put the responsibility on a child is, well, let me say this. I don't expect my son or your son to wear a mask because he or she may or may not pass a germ on to my son, who may or may not pass it on to a high-risk individual that we know that may or may not get sick. That responsibility on a child, that's irresponsible, that's shameful. They are kids. If you're high risk, you know you are. One last thing, everybody needs to go online because she's not—
Thank you for your comments, number 12. We appreciate your time. Speaker number 13. Speaker number 13.
Hi, my name is Rachel Kulak, and I have had 3 children in Henrico. 1 remains. We've pulled the other 2. I just came to talk about masks. and I was reading your mission statement about civic learning experience that will inspire and empower them to become contributing citizens. That is what a lot of these students that are here tonight have done. They have engaged in civic learning. They know what the truth is, they know what the law is, and not only that, they are obeying their parents whose choice it is. And in return, our students were segregated. They were pulled from the school, they were pulled from their classrooms, from their peers. They were put into an auditorium, I believe today, in an empty classroom, and they are denied their in-person, face-to-face learning in real time, which is what SB 1303 guarantees our students. So for engaging in civic learning experiences and for being obedient to their parents, who by law have that choice to make that decision, our students are effectively punished. They are placed in, it's essentially ISS. That does not sound right. And it's not legal, and it's not ethical. And who is paying the price? Our kids are. After a whole year of virtual learning and asynchronous learning days, our students have been asynchronously completing work with zero instruction. They may not go to their class and engage in group projects, and they are required to take the same tests and quizzes while not having had any instruction from their teachers. That is not okay. It is heartbreaking what these kids are going through.
Again, thank you so much for coming to speak at public comment this evening. And thank you to all of those who also submitted written public comments online for the board to consider. And now for the next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes. Board members, is there a motion to approve the minutes from December 6th, 2021? And governance training and the December 9th, 2021 work session and monthly meeting minutes? I would imagine, do we have to split those up?
I move that the school board approve the minutes from December 6, 2021, governance training, and December 9th, 2021 work session and monthly meeting.
Thank you so much for the motion, Ms. Ogburn. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper. Now for a roll call vote. Reverend Cooper?
Aye.
Ms. Ogburn?
Aye.
Ms. Atkins?
Aye.
Mrs. Shea?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it, and the minutes have been approved. The next item is acceptance of grant funding from the superintendent.
Thank you. I have a number of items for which I'm seeking the board's approval related to funding awards. The first one is related to grant funding that actually comes through Dinwiddie County Public Schools regarding a training grant for which the items are listed in 10.01, seeking your approval of that grant, the training grant.
Board members, can I get a motion?
I move that the school board accept $17,908.10 in funding from Dinwiddie County Public Schools.
May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Reverend Cooper and Ms. Ogburn. Now for a roll call vote. Reverend Cooper?
Aye.
Mrs. Ogburn?
Aye.
Ms. Atkins?
Aye.
Mrs. Shea?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it. The grant has been accepted.
Thank you. Also seeking the school board's acceptance of Emergency Connectivity Fund Awards in the amount of $1,196 for iPads.
Board members, may I have a motion?
I move that the school board accept the Emergency Connectivity Fund Award of $1,196 for iPads.
The motion was made by Ms. Atkins. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper. Now for a roll call vote. Reverend Cooper?
Aye.
Mrs. Ogburn?
Aye.
Mrs. Atkins?
Aye.
Mrs. Shea?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it, and the fund award has been accepted.
Thank you. Also seeking your acceptance of additional funding from the Emergency Connectivity Fund. This time, it's for the use of Chromebooks, and the amount is $5,775,731.15.
May I have a motion, please, board members?
I move that the school board accept the Emergency Connectivity Fund award of $5,775,731.15 for Chromebooks.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Ogburn. Now for a roll call vote. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Mrs. Ogburn.
Aye.
Ms. Atkins.
Aye.
Mrs. Shea.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it, and the fund award has been accepted.
Thank you. Also asking that the school board accept the Praxis and Virginia Communication and Literacy Assessment Assistance Grant Award of $10,000, and this is from the Virginia Department of Education.
Board members, may I have a motion?
I move that the school board accept the grant award of $10,000 from the Virginia Department of Education.
Thank you, Ms. Ogburn. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper. And now for a roll call vote. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Mrs. Ogburn.
Aye.
Mrs. Atkins.
Aye.
Mrs. Shea.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it, and the grant has been accepted.
Thank you. I'm also asking the school board to accept the School Security Equipment Grant Award of $119,976 from the Virginia Department of Education.
Board members, may I have a motion, please?
I move that the school board accept the grant award of $119,976 from the Virginia Department of Education.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Atkins. For a roll call vote now. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Ms. Ogburn.
Aye.
Ms. Atkins.
Aye.
Ms. Shea.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it. The grant has been accepted.
Thank you. I'm also asking that the school board accept the Early Childhood Preschool Provisionally Licensed Teacher Incentive Program Grant of $24,000 from the Virginia Department of Education.
Thank you. Board members, may I have a motion?
I move that the school board accept the grant award of $24,000 from the Virginia Department of Education.
Thank you, Ms. Ogburn. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper. Now for a roll call vote. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Ms. Ogburn.
Aye.
Ms. Atkins.
Aye.
Ms. Shea.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it. The grant has been accepted.
Thank you. Also asking that the school board accept the grant award of $472 from the Richmond Roadrunners and Sports Backers.
Board members, is there a motion?
I move that the school board accept the grant award of $472 from the Richmond Road Runners and Sports Backers.
Thank you, Ms. Atkins. May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, who's going to second? Ms. Ogburn, thank you so much. Now for a roll call vote. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Ms. Ogburn.
Aye.
Ms. Atkins.
Aye.
Ms. Shea.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it. The grant has been accepted.
Thank you. I'm also recommending that the school board accept the Henrico Education Foundation Grant Award totaling $79,282, and this is for cycle 1 of the 2021-2022 school year. And Michael Taylor and Paula Roop from our Education Foundation are here with us this evening, and we're just so pleased to receive these grant funds that will go a long way in some exciting projects, innovative projects in our schools. We look forward to hearing more about those. So seeking your acceptance of that HEF grant award.
Yes, and thank you, Dr. Cashwell, and thank you for being here.
If you don't mind, before we vote, I just wanted to, on behalf of the board and as a member, the board member who goes to the foundation meetings, just thank you for all of your hard work. The grants that you are providing to our teachers, it is amazing work that our teachers are able to do that they wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So we are very appreciative of the foundation's work and support. Thank you. Okay,
Yes.
sorry.
Thank you, Ms. Ogburn. Board members, may I have a motion?
I'll do it. I would, let's see, sorry. I move that the school board accept the Henrico Education Foundation Grant Award totaling $79,282.
Thank you, Ms. Ogburn. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper. Now a roll call vote. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Ms. Ogburn.
Aye.
Ms. Atkins.
Aye.
Mrs. Shea.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it. The award has been accepted.
Thank you. Next, I'm recommending that the school board approve the assignment and assumption of the lease between Clearview Tower Company, LLC, and the County School Board of Henrico County, Virginia, for the cell tower location at Quioccasin Middle School.
Board members, may I have a motion?
I move that the school board approve the assignment and assumption of the lease between Clearview Tower Company, LLC, and the County School Board of Henrico County, Virginia.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper. May I have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Ms. Ogburn. Roll call vote. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Ms. Ogburn.
Aye.
Ms. Atkins.
Aye.
Mrs. Shea.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it, and the lease has been approved.
Thank you. Next, I'm recommending that the school board approve the schematic designs for the renovation and expansion of the Advanced Career Education Center, also known as ACE, programs at Hermitage and Highland Springs High School. And we had the opportunity to share those schematics and answer your questions about those earlier at our work session. Now seeking your approval of those schematic designs.
Ms. Atkins, since I can't do it, would you like to bring us the motion?
I would be delighted. I move that the school board approve the schematic designs for the renovation and expansion of the Advanced Career Education Center at Hermitage and the renovation of the Advanced Career Education Center at Highland Springs High School.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mrs. Shea. All right, the motion has been brought forward by Ms. Atkins, seconded by Ms. Shea. Roll call vote. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Ms. Ogburn.
Aye.
Mrs. Atkins.
Aye.
Mrs. Shea.
Aye.
And I definitely vote aye. The ayes have it. The schematic designs have been approved.
Thank you. Next, I'm recommending that the school board award annual contracts to Schnabel Engineering LLC and Froling and Robertson Incorporated for geotechnical engineering and quality control and special inspection services.
Board members, may I have a motion?
I move that the school board award contracts to Schnabel Engineering LLC and Furling and Robertson for geotechnical engineering, quality control, and special inspection services.
Thank you, Ms. Ogburn. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper. Roll call vote. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Ms. Ogburn.
Aye.
Ms. Atkins.
Aye.
Ms. Shea.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it. The contracts have been awarded.
Thank you. Next, recommending that the school board award construction contracts for HVAC renovations to Warwick Plumbing and Heating, DBA Warwick Mechanical Group, in the amount of $614,000 for Glen Allen Elementary School, $162,000 for Mayfield Elementary School, $851,000 for Short Pump Elementary School, and $781,000 for Short Pump Middle School. I also recommend that the school board authorize me to execute the contracts in a form approved by the county attorney and to execute exchange orders with the scope of the project budgets not to exceed 15% of the original contract amounts.
Board members, may I have a motion?
I move that the school board award construction contracts for the HVAC renovations to Warwick Plumbing and Heating, DBA Warwick Mechanical Group, in the amount of $614,000 for Glen Allen Elementary School, $162,000 for Mayfoot Elementary School, $851,000 for Short Pump Elementary School, and $781,000 for Short Pump Middle School, and authorize the superintendent to execute the contracts in a form approved by the county attorney, and to execute change orders within the scope of the project budgets not to exceed 15% of the original contract amounts.
Thank you, Reverend Cooper. May I have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Ms. Ogburn. Roll call vote. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Ms. Ogburn.
Aye.
Ms. Atkins.
Aye.
Ms. Shea.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it. It's been approved.
Thank you. Next, recommending the school board award a construction contract for the chiller and cooling tower replacements to Harris Heating and Plumbing Company Incorporated in the amount of $579,999 for Pocahontas Middle School. Again, I'm recommending that the school board authorize me to execute that contract in a form approved by our county attorney and to execute change orders within the scope of the project and not to exceed 15% of the original contract amounts.
Board members, may I have a motion?
I move that the school board award the contract for the chiller and cooling tower to Harris Heating and Plumbing Incorporated in the amount of $579,999 for Pocahontas Middle School and authorize the superintendent to execute the contract in a form approved by the county attorney and to execute change orders within the scope of the project budget not to exceed 15% of the original contract amount.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Ms. Atkins. Now for a roll call vote. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Ms. Zockburn.
Aye.
Mrs. Atkins.
Aye.
Ms. Shea.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it, and it's been approved.
Thank you. The next items are consent items, so they can be taken in a block. I am seeking your approval of the following: the acceptance of the monthly financial statement and budgetary status report for the months ending November 30, 2021 and December 31, 2021, the acceptance of the monthly financial statement for school nutrition services for the months ending November 30, 2021 and December 31, 2021, also the approval of personnel items, and the approval of new members to the Equity and Diversity Advisory Committee, as was shared in our presentation at our work session.
Board members, may I have a motion?
I move that the school board approve agenda items 13.01, 13.02, 13.03, and 13.04 as previously described and recommended by the superintendent.
Second.
Thank you for the second. Thank you for the first, Mrs. Shea. And who said second? Ms. Ogburn. Thank you so much. Roll call vote. Reverend Cooper.
Aye.
Ms. Ogburn.
Aye.
Ms. Atkins.
Aye.
Ms. Shea.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it. The consent items are approved.
Thank you, and that does conclude any items I have for the board.
Thank you, Dr. Cashwell. Board members, the next item on the agenda is unfinished business. Is there any? There seems to be no unfinished business. The next item is new business. Is there any new business to bring forward? There not being any new business, the next item is the announcement of our next meeting. The school board's next meeting will be a work session scheduled on Thursday, February 10th, 2022 at 1 p.m. with a budget public hearing at 5:30 p.m. The meeting times may be adjusted if needed. This meeting is adjourned.